welcome to Will's Not Home. Because Will's not in this one. That means Will's not home, guys. So, welcome to Will's Not Home.
Good intro.
We got Colby here.
Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm Colby. Once again, the hunk, hot one of the bunch.
Probably.
Tends to stay erect.
If you're thinking 3 inches, you're thinking correct.
Over 8.
Okay.
Sean, go ahead.
I'm the editor. I edited the other podcast. I'm pretty cool, I guess. All right, let's go to Aiden.
I'm Aiden. I'm unassociated with any of this, and I don't do any work whatsoever except talk. So that's cool.
He's good.
And now let's go to Michael. None of us know about him.
Yeah. He's the wild card.
He's
you know?
a homeless man, and he grabbed onto me. He was like, "Please, let me be in your podcast.
Let's become on YouTube.
I want to be YouTube famous."
Young
he
man.
was 63.
Somebody in our English class set one of their goals as being TikTok famous.
That's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, it's good to know that we have strippers in our classes.
Yeah, Michael.
Really?
I agree.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Mommy, I want to be a stripper when I grow up.
It's not any different from like the 8-year-olds are like, I want to become a YouTuber. I want to shoot gaming
I want to be
channel.
Fortnite famous.
I want to be the Fortnite man.
Thanks to YouTube's own work, they're kind of killing that dream for everyone about being rich and famous.
Yeah.
However, our sponsor, no.
Our sponsor, Dollar Shave
McDonald's.
Club.
I'm 15. So I shave all the time.
I shave every third day.
Don't worry. They don't only have shaving products.
They have butt wipes.
They have butt wipes.
And you can shower with them.
Buy the butt wipes.
Please
Hey,
sponsor
Dollar
us.
Shave
Please
Club,
give us
can
your
you
money.
sponsor us now?
Please, Dollar Shave
Give
Club.
us money,
And
Dollar
while
Shave
you're at
Club.
it, go to Wendy's, get a 4 for $4 and have a good time.
Have a good time.
While you're at it, guys,
Make everybody
Quip.
happy.
You guys like Quip? You guys like toothbrushes? Well, we got Quip.
You guys heard of
The
Verve?
government doesn't care about you.
Auto stands for
Verve stands for
There are no V words.
Well executed.
Yeah.
Right, let's move
Verb
into...
stands for very rad.
Let's...
Nicole.
Alright, shut up. Let's move to our first
Remember
topic.
the IRA.
Yeah.
Our first
Thanks,
topic.
Michael.
Thanks, Michael, for your great commentary on this.
I appreciate it,
Let's move
homeless
to our
man.
first topic.
Conspiracy
Conspiracy
theories.
theories.
'Cause he's
Get your tinfoil hats on, everybody. It's time to go into the unknown.
Or you could just not.
Bulletproof vests are also recommended.
Yeah, that too.
You'll
you
be
don't wanna
shot.
get shot.
Don't get
Instantly.
STDs.
You'll be
Okay.
shot on sight.
Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Jeffrey Epstein. Let's start.
That's not a conspiracy theory.
I think that's basically confirmed. Is he dead?
It used
we
to
don't
be a
know.
conspiracy
He's
theory.
either dead, got suicided. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
He either got suicide in his prison cell, or he's
He
living
got
in the Bahamas.
suicided.
Yeah.
Because there's some.
He's
there's
down
some
with
pretty convincing
Tupac,
stuff
guys.
That he might be
Yeah.
in the Bahamas.
He's down with Tupac and Biggie.
Unlike Hitler,
boys.
he's actually alive.
Hitler. That is false.
Hitler's like 130 if he's alive.
Yeah,
he's
fucking people who are like,
He's gone.
Hitler's still alive.
Yeah.
Trust me, he escaped.
He'd be like 90.
That's bullshit. He
Over
probably would have
90.
died.
Do you think a neo-Nazi lived in Argentina for all these years without at least getting noticed once? Do you think no brown person ever got a weird look?
Yeah,
from
no.
70-year-old.
They
Hitler?
were like, what's up with that dude's mustache? He kind of looks
Yeah.
like Hitler.
He's got the
also,
Hitler
like,
stash. Wait a minute.
I feel like you would put 2 and 2 together. Be like, a German man. He's in South America. Hates Jewish people. Wait a second. Hold on.
The other thing you have to remember, he had Parkinson's in 1945. The SS had to get rid of a lot of footage where he was going out and meeting Hitler's youth and basically the last Berlin fighters, where he was getting a little trembly. So a 70-year-old Nazi with Parkinson's somehow managed to sit around in
I don't think he'd
Argentina.
slip under the radar. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
putting
don't-
that
I
out
don't
there.
think-
Why would anyone think he's still alive? He's clearly dead.
Why do people believe the Holocaust didn't happen? It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they're just like, I don't see proof because they weren't alive 90 years
It
ago.
sucks
It's
to be
like,
Jewish.
yeah.
I gotta say, it's at first it was we hate you because you're rebelling against the Romans, and the Romans are like, actually, we're gonna work with you. Kill this Jesus guy, and then everything basically turned shit side for the whole Jewish people.
the Jewish are like people
However,
who
who gives a fuck about
just
Israel?
trying to be
Even-
nice.
Yeah, no, fuck Israel. That's gonna be the tagline for this podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck Israel.
Oh god.
New title of the podcast.
We're
Fuck
getting
Israel.
demonetized
Will's
so
not
fast.
Will's not home? No, fuck Israel.
Fuck
I'll
Israel.
say this, yes, they're a country, and there's a lot of complex history about Palestine and who has the rights to be in charge of it. And
Yeah, so does
it's
Bosnia
all
has a rich
blame.
history.
Once again, we can blame the British and the French and colonialism for our fucking problem.
Dude, fuck the
and
French.
NATO. Well, not really NATO. It's more of the League of Nations,
The
or
League of
UN,
Nations.
however you want to phrase it now. But that whole debacle is just a fucking mess. But it really doesn't matter who's in control because people are going to perpetuate violence against each other. So
Awesome.
who gives a fuck about Israel? I mean, they hate each other.
Dude, fuck them.
Yeah.
Palestine and the Jewish population of Israel, or however you want to say, Israel versus Palestine, however you want to phrase it, it's gonna be atrocities no matter who's in charge, and just everyone likes to treat it like this like lone bastion of like the like Western civilization out in the middle of
Yes,
the
like
Middle
what?
East, but it's really not.
Yeah.
But
Okay, this isn't a conspiracy theory. Next conspiracy theory.
Shoot.
Aliens, are they real?
Obviously, yes.
Area 51.
There's almost a certainty that there's other life out in the universe, whether that's bacterial or intelligent. Intelligent life's a lot more scarce, I think. It's easy to
It's
argue
not far out there, but like it's not anywhere close.
Yeah,
I mean,
statistically,
yeah.
we're gonna run into life at some other.
In a universe so big, we're definitely gonna run into something, no matter how big.
All right,
It's not even to
yeah.
mention a
Okay,
multiverse
so we
here.
agree aliens are real, right? But do you think
I
do you
don't
think that they like visit Earth? Do you think there are
I don't think
aliens
we've
out
ever
there
been-
that are like, yeah, dude, fucking let me help you build the pyramid?
Yeah, you're talking about like the History Channel.
Yeah, I'm
shit?
talking about that History Channel at 3 a.m. where they're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, guys, so aliens built the
You
pyramids.
remember the Mayans? No, they were aliens.
They were
No,
aliens.
the only thing that I'd say that would be interesting, and I'm not saying that I believe aliens came. The only thing that's like really like I'd love an explanation for that because there's not a great explanation. Is the Nazca lines of the Aztec. There's no really great explanation how they got geometry that advanced, considering their math and language skills. Like they didn't have a written language. They didn't really have a proper written.
Yeah, no, they
language
just
that-
they were like, hey, let's tie some rope together. This is how we
yeah,
speak.
But
Maybe.
the Nazca lines were fucking badass. They're
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they like for some reason they were like
You
they were like barbarians, but they could build shit really well.
think
Not
barbarians
barbarians,
is
but they were like
I mean, if they meant
They were
like,
savage.
They were-
plateaus and shit.
I don't
They
even
were, like,
want to use
very-
that word historically, but they weren't as developed as some civilizations.
They were
as far as
underdeveloped.
construction. Now they definitely were pretty advanced compared to some, especially considering their age. But for the way they had their mathematical system set up, how they pulled off the geometry of the Nazca lines, I'd love to learn that. That's the only thing I'd say. Like, oh, they got help from something else. That's the only time I'd go like, yeah, maybe like
You guys
pyramids.
ever heard the Aztec death whistle?
no, what's that?
Oh, that's
Can
so
I hear it
fucking
right
cool.
now?
I'll
Hold
have to
on.
pull it up.
Yeah.
Someone cue up some Jeopardy music.
Actually, I'm
while
gonna
we're
play
waiting.
it. You guys keep talking. I can play it over Bluetooth.
Laugh at this.
Laugh,
This
guys.
is a reference to
This is
Jeopardy.
a reference to real life.
You know, we can make this a lot.
We get
less,
copyrighted strike in the EU. I'm gonna be fucking like pissed.
Yeah, no, fuck off.
I do not care.
we can make this a lot less. What do you call it?
Sex.
We can make this a lot less funny and more just talking. I'd enjoy.
Well,
that.
that's what we're doing.
Pretty much.
Well,
yeah,
I don't.
okay, so
There'll
you gotta
be jokes
think about it.
Sometimes.
Jokes?
I wouldn't be
Maybe.
good on that.
Okay, so you gotta think about it, right? So, a lot of people were like, oh, there were aliens after World War II, that's when they started coming? Because I'm, you know me, I'm always
What?
up at like 2 a.m. watching them conspiracy
No,
theories where
you-
everyone's like, after World War II, the aliens started visiting a lot more frequently.
It's like right after they saw that great
That's why
display of
Hitler's in
Hitler and then
Argentina.
us all killing each other, they decided it was time to
They
make
were like,
contact.
guys, it's time to make contact.
That's
Like,
why
they have-
Hitler's still alive.
I like this angry mustache model's moxie, guys.
Let's make him 300 years old
But the
and
thing is,
survive.
Even
To
looking at our
2020.
constraints of science, they'd still have to travel all the light years to get here. So
Yeah.
they'd have to they'd have to identify life. Like the mass of life would have to be identifiable from their range, or it would have to be similar to theirs, so they can.
They could be
realize ahead of
aimlessly
time.
wandering, that's like...
That's another theory, but
Yeah.
they would reach us eventually, right? But they
Yeah.
would reach us and not realize that we're developed life until they were very close to us.
Yeah.
And by
Yeah, you
then,
have to be like within, not even like, you can't even see it from like Mars probably,
Yeah.
but like,
They'd probably have a colony ship too at that point. They'd need renewable resources.
yeah, I feel like they wouldn't care.
You'd need a small atmosphere. Like, you'd need to maintain a small atmosphere and also have enough energy. Like, imagine because it's not like you can just dig new. They'd have to store radioactive materials or
Yeah.
whatever fuel they use
Yeah.
on board and carry it with them. You'd be riding, and presumably they're an advanced civilization. They don't really need. They've got some sort of hydrocarbon fuel, or they're using nuclear power.
Or
something.
they figured out something else to do.
Solar would be viable, but
Or they could like,
You know, speaking on the History Channel,
yeah.
there's actually some interesting stuff that's like you probably made that up,
What?
but it's weird.
yeah.
But one
What?
time they're like, there's this meteor that crashed, and they just found a new material in it.
No, yeah, that
That's-
happened. It was an element. That's the thing with elements.
What
is that we
element
can-
was it?
I don't remember.
Is
it
it
was
like?
one of the higher up
Is it?
ones.
Oh,
like,
okay. It's not like one of the like
No, it's
basic
not like we
ones.
found
Like
one
we
right now.
found tin, guys.
No, because we can using
found
science, we
oxygen.
can predict elements. Like one of the reasons that we were able to prove our current theory of how we get elements is predicting. I think it was gallium or germanium. It was one of those elements that they predicted the behaviors of the element based off of something else, and that led to aluminum or some bullshit. But we can predict elements like that. The fact, if just because we have a missing slot on the periodic table, like, oh, we've never seen this, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means that, hey, we have science to show that, hey, this probably exists. We just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
But the History Channel said it was an alien spaceship that crashed.
Oh, that's for
Yeah,
that's like a brain dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
spaceship that
have the death whistle ready.
Okay, let's hear the death whistle.
Yeah,
Alright, hold
yeah.
on, I got it.
ASMR death whistle.
Hold on.
That's not the death whistle.
I gotta skip
That sounds
this.
like relaxing
There's
music.
like history on it. Just let me hear it.
Come on.
Sounds crazy, but just to send the brain into
Please.
Yeah.
I'm in pain.
How did they make that sound?
It's like a whistle.
It's a whistle?
This is a guy blowing into one of them.
That just sounds like someone screaming in pain.
Yeah, it sounds like
Sounds like
femur
someone's
marker.
That
writhing in
reminds me of
pain.
Vixen.
Oh god!
Intensifying.
But what the Aztecs
Screams
the Aztecs
intensify.
did this, the conquistadors have like written about it. What they would do is they would have hordes of people blowing into these all at the same time.
Just to like scare people away?
Yeah, that was like
That just sounded like the femur
No,
breaker.
dude, what they used to do in
the femur breaker.
The femur breaker.
Anyone?
they used to do shit. I don't remember what war or operation it was, but they used to do things with psyops. Psyops are fucking nuts. There's always good stories of psyops where they put like speakers into fucking trees to make weird noises in the night. There's other psyops, and I don't remember if this was associated, where they pick up the last guy on patrol, right, and they like, butcher him and hang him from a tree.
Oh, that's
and
terrifying.
and they use. I think they did use it in coordination with helicopters with speakers
Oh,
or something like
God.
that. But they convinced the locals because they had vampire legends.
What?
Because they hang.
They just were like, vampires
no,
are
hang
real.
They hang people upside down, put holes in their throat, and drain the blood out of them, and leave them hanging in a tree like that.
I would be terrified.
Exactly,
If someone came to my underdeveloped village, they were like, "Hey, vampires are real." I'd be like, "What? Are you serious?" I thought it.
Could you
Say
imagine,
psych right
could
now.
you imagine being like this is your first time encountering technology. You don't know what a speaker is. You just see that they have giant metal birds flying overhead, and you know what guns are now because you've had to train with them to fight off,
Yeah, the hordes
fucking
of vampires.
GIs, the fucking GIs. You're walking around at night trying to protect whatever fucking camp
Farm.
you got. And
Yeah, your little
like
farm.
trying to keep it safe. All of a sudden, someone like the guy behind you disappears. You find him the next morning,
Fucking
full of
hanging from
blood.
a tree. It's like, what? Billy?
I mean, it
How'd you get there?
What the fuck?
It wouldn't even have to be some underdeveloped village. If somebody like knocked on my door today and was like, "It's Sasquatch," I would believe him.
No, no, don't even think
He's
of that.
here.
Think about this. If you went out on a
coming for
military
your
patrol,
children.
you're in a military operation, and the next day you find out the guy who was literally right behind you is hanging down the block with the blood draining.
That'd be,
if I
like,
saw
so
a guy down the
mentally
street
Yup,
on like the stop
Sasquatch.
sign, upside down, fucking crucified, I don't need to know the back. I don't have to think they are vampires. That could be a human. I'd still be pissed, terrified of that.
Yeah, no, if someone just, like... I feel like it being a vampire, it doesn't, like, add anything to it. If some, like, murderer
I feel
was
like
just
that's a
walking
mystical
down the
thing.
road, taking someone, stabbing holes in their neck, hanging them, I'd be like, what?
But I feel like super strength, like not knowing that I can't even fight against it. Like it's one thing to know, like, oh, the enemy soldiers are kidnapping us and dragging us where, oh, random people are grabbing us and dragging away. That's one thing. But thinking like, oh, some creature in the middle of the night is randomly grabbing people, butchering them horrifically, and leaving us to find us in the morning. Like
Oh,
It's
terrifying.
Sasquatch.
I
swear that
He's here.
Sasquatch.
He's here.
Then I
That's Sasquatch right here. No!
Oh!
Stop!
Don't go in the door!
No! Not my cock! No!
He's got shot! He's got shot!
No! Oh, my balls!
Rape whistle!
They're purple! My balls! They're squished on the floor! Ow!
No one
Hey guys, I'm back. I went pee. What happened?
What? My balls! They're on the fucking floor!
Guys, what happened?
The Sasquatch stole Sean's ball!
No! They picked me up like breathe to come out of my nuts and look where we are now!
The government is
Not even like
Sasquatches.
The government sent Sasquatch.
Barely
here.
even 15
They're
minutes in a podcast
Sasquatches.
and my balls already ripped off. I feel great.
Okay.
Sasquatch or Sasquatch.
Alright, can we
back
talk
to
about aliens
Sasquatches.
again while I
Let's
mourn?
actually talk-
Sasquins.
The Sasquatch.
Let's actually talk about Sasquatch.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't
I-
know
I-
much about him. All I know is people
I don't
are
know much
like...
about him.
I
That's a
wanna
little
hunt him.
sexist.
All
I wanna hunt him, I
all
can't
I know
fuck
about
anymore.
Sasquatch are people like, I saw it in the woods. And then
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like, no,
rednecks.
that's
I-
bullshit.
I-
No, you didn't.
Thinking from a scientific
I'm one of 'em now.
perspective and someone who likes to go in the woods, I don't think there's a Bigfoot. That's I gotta get closer to the microphone.
Yeah, don't do that.
From a scientific perspective of a large, intelligent mammal like that never being detected on a scientific scale, like, yes, once a lot of people like to think that once upon a time, like, we didn't know gorillas existed, but like the Romans had monkeys. The Romans had access to animals of ape-like, Yeah, it's really not accurate to just say like, but he could be out there.
But he's
They're
out
just hiding.
They're,
We have thermal imaging. A human being can't hide effectively from thermal imaging. Nonetheless, some guy who's like, or whatever,
Some
however you wanna
fucking
describe-
monkey man in the woods.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
Yeah.
Whether
What
it's
is
an
he
ape or
gonna
a
do?
Monkey
monkey,
man
it
walk.
just it's
Scary
not going to
him.
be possible. You're telling me one of those fuckers has never been hit by a truck in their life? Are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me?
That's what people are like. The argument to the point where it's like, well, now we can detect them. They're like, well, no. You want to know why?
Because he hides.
they're magic. That's what they're like.
They're just
magic.
fucking sitting out in the woods
That's
with.
so dumb.
They're
You
sitting out in
can't
the
just
woods
be
with
like,
fucking
they're
NVGs
magic.
that they made out of a fucking
can't just
tree
be
and
like,
AR-15.
Well,
magic.
fuck, Sasquatch
You
has
can't
God
fucking
mode.
find us.
People used to, I remember I read a book and somebody brought up an argument where it was like, well, the Native Americans used to have these legends where the Sasquatch could transform into trees.
Native Americans also smoke pots for religious
Yeah,
reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Native Americans have a spoken
Hey man,
language.
I'm just
They've
saying.
a-
I'm
not
just
only-
saying they know what's up, alright?
And the
Yeah,
other thing you
they
have to
do.
understand about that is different cultures tell stories differently. Like if you look at how Aboriginal people tell their stories, they're occurring in the present, the past. They've never happened. They have happened. It's like all these different continuums of reality.
Yeah.
But on top of that, people use animals and to symbolize things, and the idea of that there's something out in the woods that's of a human-like intelligence that could rival us, like.
I don't think there's
I think that's a way
anything-
to express an emotion. I don't.
I don't
necessarily
think.
read
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
It's a
Also, like,
caricature.
I feel like there's this scientific thing where it's like there wasn't just one human species at some point. There were like 8, and then they all died off.
Well, no, you could feel like
Yeah, that's
human
like-
gorillas
that's
at the same
true,
time as
but,
Homo
like-
sapiens,
Like even like legends like that could be like, oh,
I'm
well,
talking.
those are like.
I just want to acknowledge this for the sake of the podcast. I'm listening to someone seriously discuss Bigfoot conspiracy theories while I'm sitting in someone's bedroom while they're wearing a Higo T-shirt. or
Oh, yeah,
sweatshirt.
Aiden's wearing-
Yeah, I'm wearing the hentai hood.
I never
Yeah.
thought that I'd be sitting in a room discussing like conspiracy theories with someone with this, but I
kinda
guess
hot.
that's where I am.
It
in
is
life,
pretty
so.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a
Okay.
raging boner. It's like 12 feet.
Sean, that got ripped off by the Sasquatch.
Yeah, it doesn't
No,
work full.
only
just
I
as
It's
said
halfway
my
across.
balls.
It might be erect. It doesn't count as a part of you anymore.
That's the hot one of them.
I said it was the balls,
Tends to
not the
serve.
pee
balls.
Only the balls. He
Sean
really
can no
likes
longer have
balls.
children.
He really likes balls.
Yeah.
He just like fucking munches
No
on them.
one mentions that on the show. Sasquatch really likes nuts.
Okay, if we're talking about Sasquatch, let's talk about how stupid the Loch Ness monster is, though.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
dumb.
it lives in a lake, like one lake, and no one's ever seen it.
Yeah.
And people are like, he's there. And
I
then
think certain arguments can be made that like, it's the last bastion of a species. But
How long would
of
it
that
live?
size? Yeah, of that
No.
size being the only one left, and the other thing is like, yeah,
It would have to eat,
yeah.
and
if it was
there's not
there's
much
nothing
section
in
to
there
walk.
to
now
eat.
open ocean, like giant squid were extremely elusive, and they were saying of myth and legend
okay.
even recently.
and now they're
Until
and
recent-
people they're real, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
but now we
real.
understand them. But the thing is, when it comes to the Loch Ness monster, it's such a confined area. It can't even be like,
It's
oh,
like, oh,
it's
you
down
can't.
there.
It's not like, oh, it's down there 100 feet deep. It's like it's
Yeah.
gonna come up eventually
They
if it
send
can
like
breathe.
diving
Yeah.
teams
I
and
love-
sonar and stuff.
They've tried, and again, an argument can be made that it's down there, we just haven't found it yet.
It's
You know what I
magic.
mean? Listen, if we
Yeah.
want to go, has anyone seen the movie Napoleon Dynamite here?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so the idea of detonating a thermonuclear warhead in Loch Ness just to
Just
see
for
what
fun?
happens, just
No.
for the fucking fun of it. I mean, if you really want to test it, you'll kill fucking everything in there. But
yeah,
I don't think
and
that's...
you could make the land uninhabitable.
Yeah,
for
I
like
don't
years.
think the Loch Ness monster is gonna be. Well,
Why
nuclear
do
detonations
people
in
believe
water
this
are a little
stuff?
different, but it
Are
still
they?
wouldn't be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be nice. You'd raise the radiation levels, but water, because it's got more density and just air and
just hold it?
topsoil, you'd probably just ruin all the water and anything that touches it. But
Why do people
Depends on
believe
the
in
warhead.
that specifically? Isn't it just like one
It's
picture
It's the
of
same
him?
thing as Bigfoot.
It used to be
it's a folk legend.
It used to be a religious thing.
Yeah.
Was
Like
it?
Saint Peter went to the fucking loch and he like summoned the beast out of it, and he was like, "Fuck you, stupid!"
You look enough like a snake to me. I'm gonna fucking pull a St. Patrick.
That was like the whole legend.
Pretty sure
that-
it was Scott.
that, like,
I feel
Saint-
like we just butchered a religion.
I don't
We
know.
just
Well,
butchered
I
that.
do not
I'm
care.
not familiar with
It
all
do
the
not
saints
matter.
and like there's how
Fuck
they got.
Catholicism.
They're
All
saints.
right.
Who's
Now
gonna
we've been-
attack us?
Now
Like,
we've
7
been
people
thoroughly
watch
demonetized
this.
saying anti-government conspiracies, something about Israel, and now
Let's
the
talk about
Catholics.
some
We've
government
effectively
Oh,
pissed
conspiracies
everyone
real
off.
quick.
before we do government, I want to.
You're Catholic too, and I'm being an
I
alright.
no, it's fine. I don't really. All right.
No, we're gonna stop that there.
No.
Sorry, Catholics.
Sorry,
we have one of
folks.
you. We have one of you. We're safe.
Yeah,
fuck you.
So Michael, I was talking about giant squids, and that brings up a really cool legend that I like.
Michael? Who's
You
that?
mean Michael?
yeah.
Michael.
Time to censor things.
Do you mean Michael?
Sean.
Sean's gonna censor some
Can you
things.
just edit Michael over me saying Michael?
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, say Michael.
You didn't have to tell me
Because
that.
his name is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Here we go.
His
What were
name
you
is
saying- what were
Michael,
you trying to
guys.
say?
Right. So there's this cool legend that I like, and it's you know what the blue holes are?
No, what are the
No.
blue holes?
So they're these really like deep chasm.
Oh,
things.
and they're filled with water, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. So imagine a lake, a little bit smaller than an actual lake, and it just goes straight down forever.
That'd be
Well, not forever, but
strange.
deep enough.
No, they're real.
They're real. They
Yeah,
just go straight
they're
down very
pits,
deep.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
just-
cave systems, basically. They just
And
there's
there's
underground cave systems too that have been explored.
there's a theory that they're all connected.
I don't think they are.
Isn't that what they used in Godzilla for like how Godzilla moved around super fast? They were like underwater channels in the ocean.
I
Isn't that
don't
similar
know,
to that?
but there's a theory that it's like they're all connected, and it's not like there's a tunnel system, but it's like there's like rocks and stuff.
Yeah,
that you can
it's like
squeeze.
aquifers. In theory, you have aquifers that you can.
That doesn't
connect
make
systems
sense
like that.
though.
No, it makes.
Does it like where are they in a specific area or are they all around the Earth?
They're
They're probably spread out. I imagine. I imagine there's a few
they're
outliers.
pretty spread out, but I think they're all concentrated in like
That would make some amount of sense. But
Tropical
if there was
areas?
one in like China or whatever, and then there's one in America, it's like it's not gonna go straight through the Earth.
Yeah.
It has to go all the way around the
What
crust.
I'd guarantee you is that they have their own type of life forms in there. Whether it's
Probably.
bacteria or something like that.
I
There's
know.
almost certainly their own type of life form.
They have
in
their
there,
own
but-
ecosystem, definitely.
They're-
They
so-
find those in caves all the time. Isolated life forms that have developed over time, but they're completely different than our
Yeah.
understanding of life. They've used chemical reactions instead of sunlight, things like that. So I imagine there's its own life down there, but
Yeah, no, I bet some of the blue holes are connected through like
aquifers
cave
or
systems and like
caves or something.
like underwater caves and shit. But right, there's a legend that there's like a killer squid down there,
Whoa!
Destroy the government.
and thank you,
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Very cool.
Thank you,
Right,
Michael.
there's an old legend that I've heard a couple of times. It's like, there's a squid that's able to like squeeze through the rocks and transport itself to all the different blue holes, and it like eats tourists. And I don't know if that's just a legend.
I
don't see why-
I feel like someone on crack made that. They were like,
I don't see why it wouldn't just eat.
Don't go in the hole of the school and be like, come here.
I would assume it could
Come
eat
here,
any
boy.
food source out by the hole, but I feel like they'd opt to eat things that are down below, or they'd evolve to not be
I mean,
predatory.
I bet she was just made by locals to like be like, hey, don't fucking like pollute the blue holes.
Or even different from that, think about how long those have been known about, and kids have gone and drowned in them.
That's true.
Like Santa Claus, like
Santa
stories.
Claus drowned.
Sorry, kids. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Santa
sorry.
Claus drowned.
Yeah, he
No.
went in the blue holes and it was killed
No.
by the fucking
No, but think about like
octopus man.
it's like Santa Claus, where you have to behave or like bad things happen, but you have to think like there's much worse things in the
Krampus,
world. That
yeah.
there's not even just
like
Krampus. There's a
Behave
whole-
or you're eating a kid.
Iceland has their own whole fucking weird ass Christmas pub. It's strange, but basically
Don't they
there's-
have like goblins?
do
Like
you-
they have goblins, and then they have this one.
Someone watches
big
Salmonella.
woman. Yeah.
Someone watches Salmonella.
Yeah, they have like a big
Yeah.
woman, and then
they
they
just
got the
eat
big
kids.
man.
They fucking eat kids.
Yeah, they're just
Thank
like,
you,
are you bad? I
Salmonella.
eat you.
Thank you, Sam
Have you
O'Nella.
guys heard of the Yule Lads?
Shouts out to
Yes,
Sam
it's from the
O'Nella.
same video, you fuck.
the fucking Yule
Spoon
Lads.
liquor.
Shout outs to
What?
Sam O'Nella, guys.
But the point is that it's used to scare kids, and I imagine it's something similar to that, where they develop these myths of, hey, don't fucking go near the endless pits.
oh,
Are you sure?
But I mean,
For
they
real?
used that legend to explain like an actual tourist death, where it was like a 30-year-old man and he just got dragged under.
maybe
really?
he just
The
like
goblin
Maybe
man
he
in
can't
him.
swim.
maybe he couldn't swim.
I mean, I'm not.
Did he like suddenly get dragged under?
No, nobody saw him get dragged under. They were just
Oh.
like, hey, where's Ted?
Hey,
Yeah,
where's
he might have
Ted?
fallen in. I mean, You telling
The
me
gremlin, he ate him.
suicide in one of the big blue boys?
I think they like searched for his body, but they didn't find it because they couldn't go low enough.
Maybe he went missing then.
He
I mean, he was an adult.
He might still be alive. Like, some adults just kind of up and fucking leave.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck it.
Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's midlife crisis, but every now and again you hear, like, oh, a mother just abandoned her kids. And, like, is she dead? And, like,
No,
and
she just
they
left.
pop up, like, a few decades later. Like, absentee parentism, but anyone can absentee. Everyone can, like, dip out of the life they have. They get fed up with it or what have you.
Well, they were like all swimming together. He was like with a group of people.
Oh,
And then he just like,
Yeah, no, and then they're like,
Bye.
hey, wait.
When you're
happened?
diving, any amount of things can go wrong when you're diving. That
They
does
were-
sound weird.
They weren't diving. I don't think it was like one of the
Oh, they-
registered like diving holes. I think it was one they found and they were like, let's go swimming.
let's go swim.
Well,
Yeah.
some people can do that and still go diving. They say it's scuba.
Something
Depends on how
could
deep
like
they go.
actually pull him down, but I don't think it's like a giant
Yeah.
squid of legend.
It wasn't like a giant octopus. The idea is that it's
I mean,
like
he
it's
could-
so maneuverable they can fit through crevices like this big.
Yeah, you know, he
That's
what
powerful.
I imagine happened is he ran out of
When he
oxygen
said this
or
big,
got
it was
lost.
very, very small, mind you. Okay.
They were swimming on the surface. They were just like fun. Like let's stop in this cool hole and swim.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were saying they were underwater. And
No, they weren't diving. They were
I still,
just like normal.
I still
swimming on
think
the
that that's a
surface.
little far-fetched. Unless you could confirm, like, hey, he was pulled over, like, could have been a heart attack, could have been a stroke. He
Yeah.
could've just- like,
He
Tom
could've
could have
just stopped.
Tom, as they're calling Tom could have just fucking died and been like, all right, I'm gonna
Fuck
just
Tom,
drown.
Yeah.
I mean,
chose to
even a
drown.
minor medical emergency could
Yeah,
lead
he
to
could have just
drowning.
had like a mini stroke and just
Yeah.
whip
Yeah.
You know what the Yule Lads reminds me of?
was the Yule.
Wow.
One of the SCPs.
Of course.
Yeah,
they
which
You
do.
guys know what
Oh,
SCP is?
no.
I
do.
saw a couple.
Not the SCP.
There's one called the Yule Man.
Yeah, what does he do?
What he does is he like
You like my toes, Colby?
not really, Aiden. I don't want to look at your toes.
New topic, toes.
Anyways, back to the-
Opinions.
So
Which one's the
opinions on
tastiest one?
toes?
The SCP. What it does is it like enters your home and just like takes your family for hostage and it like steals children and kills the parents. And then it like takes them back to Iceland and forces them to make toys.
But
Nice.
like Santa
It's
Claus,
like Nike, but you don't get paid.
Kind of like Nike, but
you know.
if you don't work hard enough, you become the toys.
Is that how that works?
That sounds kinda
that's-
kinky, I'm not
That's
gonna
what it
lie.
does. It's like
Yeah, I don't
if
think-
you don't produce
So
enough
are there-
toys, you
so
become
are
the
there
toys.
Yeah,
some-
I think Nike just
Do
fires
they
you. I
like
don't
die
think
and
Nike
become
turns you
toys,
into
or are
skin.
they like dismembered and built into toys?
They like take their fingers and make toys with them.
Oh,
Not to my fingy.
not my finger.
No!
But it doesn't like feed the kids. They just subsist off of magical energy forever.
That sounds.
Okay.
So you're telling me I
bad.
have a job and no need for food for the rest of my life?
Yeah, but you're in a cold cave.
Talk
with a
about-
fucking disgusting like.
Talk
naked
about
human.
job security.
I mean,
That was a good
as
one.
far as things go,
oh.
I mean,
You have to make toys out of your friends.
I don't see
when
the
did they say that to my
problem.
friends? I thought he did the whole body thing, like whole body finger toy thing.
He takes them. The children make the toys, and then when the kid doesn't do good enough, he kills the kid and.
Oh, I thought I had to make
he's
like,
like, "Alright,
pet
now-"
rocks out of
He's
cave
like,
shit.
make him into a toy.
Slapping some googly eyes
You
on
making some ice toys, boy? Yeah.
Anyway, so
it. Licking
let's-
ice cubes in the
All
corner.
right, government
Nice.
conspiracies.
Government conspiracies.
Do you have them?
Michael is the expert on this.
He's
Yep,
he's the
Michael.
Taxation
conspiracy
is
man.
theft.
All right,
He says
what's
a
your
lot.
what's your
Alright,
conspiracy of the
let's
day?
hear it.
Oh, I have to do a conspiracy of the day.
Let's hear one.
Shit. I have a few. Let me think of.
What's your favorite one?
Your favorite.
MK Ultra is easily the most fucked.
Okay, can you
Oh,
talk
we
about
need the
MK Ultra
most
with
fucked
us?
one.
So MK Ultra was a
Brought to you by Audible.
MK Ultra was a government project that ran. It ran for a while, like a really. Yeah. Imagine a project running for 20 years, 1953 to 1973.
Okay.
And it was a CIA brainwashing project, using drugs, torture, brain surgery, things like that. And the idea was not only the CIA going, can we brainwash people for us? But hey, can the Russians brainwash people and use them against us?
Yeah.
But when you're torturing people and using drugs on them, like LSD, hallucinogens, things like that, it gets pretty fucked up. And that's what actually led up to the Unabomber killing a bunch of fucking people. He was
Yeah.
a part of MK Ultra and it drove him kind of fucking insane. But it
Yeah.
targeted loners and it used volunteers from the public, but they weren't told what they were volunteering for. I don't think
That's
anyone would have
weird.
volunteered for it. So it's pretty
Yeah.
fucked. They burned a bunch of shit. Like, they don't
What do they burn?
document. They burned a bunch of
Oh,
documents.
they just like
So,
burn the
yeah.
document so
Here,
you can't read about it
MK
anymore?
Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate people's mental states and alter brain functions, including surreptitious Oh.
Are there
Administration
surviving
of
people?
drugs
Were there surviving people who like told people about this? Or
Yeah,
were they,
there are.
like-
There are
There
people
are
but they're
people-
mostly
so is this
driven
how we
fucking
got-
crazy.
Oh, is that how we get most of our information? Since
No,
like,
no, they
no,
declassified
they
it
still
after.
have documents.
No, because like the Unabomber stuff, and they kind of realized, oh, this is gonna blow up in our fucking face, and they
Yeah.
started declassifying stuff.
Okay.
I'm not an expert on how they went about doing that though, so don't quote me on that. Yeah, so they used LSD and other chemicals, hypnosis, sensory deprivation. Sensory deprivation is fucky. I don't know if you've ever gone through that.
Isn't that like don't they have chambers for that where they just like put you in water? They're like fucking stay in here for an hour now.
Not something like
do you
that.
know what
Someone's watched.
Do you know what he's talking about? Sensory deprivation?
Someone.
They basically they fool you into thinking the reality you're experiencing is false.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
and
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's very fucky. It messes with your brain, and it's horrific.
How do you convince someone of that?
It's power of suggestion. A lot of the power of suggestion. You can convince people they're drunk. There's a fluid, I forget what it's called, but it has enough oxygen that you can breathe through it technically, so it can't kill you.
But you can convince people they're like drowning or
no,
something.
people think they're drowning because you submerge them and it feels like water. It's an industrial chemical. I think it's used.
Can it kill you?
Is it called LCL?
I don't remember. I'm a conspiracy theorist, not a scientist. No.
So I don't. Hold on. I don't know if
think you do.
LCL is real. It's from an anime.
No, but it's
Of
really.
course.
There's an actual compound. It's a byproduct of I think aluminum manufacturing. It's a byproduct, but it can be used in sensory deprivation to convince people that drowning they're actually not. On top of that, isolation, like solitary confinement.
They
has
just,
proved
like,
that drives
isolate you?
Yeah, just lock you in a room, don't tell you why.
You ever see like those videos on YouTube where it's like those fucky weird videos where it's like
Yeah.
it's like flashing shit on the screen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They, like
No,
for
that's
example,
what they
you know
submit
the.
you to. They put you
Is
in a room
that do
with
they
that
do
for
shit like
hours.
that? You know
Yeah.
the video submit. I think it's like submit to the walrus or something like that,
I have no
or
idea
like
what that is.
praise the walrus.
No,
it's like
they'll
this-
use
Hold on,
flashing
pull
lights.
that up.
They're using
pull up
flashing.
give me your.
They'll use flashing
I got it.
lights and distracting sounds and noises. They also
I'll
use,
give Sean the link so we can
So,
like
yeah,
put it on
this-
screen and
this-
we'll like play it in the background
this
or some
also
shit.
involved
Aiden, can you get my phone
verbal
from on
and
the
sexual
bed?
abuse.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
denied people their sexual identity and like their sexuality,
Huh?
so there was a lot of fucked up shit.
Somewhere, like, over
and there's a
there.
bunch of other forms of torture.
You'll find it.
So the scope of Project MKUltra was broad, with research undertaken at 80 institutions, including colleges, universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. So they used people who had really no choice
Is it not
in
over
this
there?
situation. But yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
that's
Here we
like-
go. This is
that's
answering
really
your
fucky.
question.
Man.
This is answering your question, Ian. Project MKUltra
Oh, I
was
missed
first
the
brought to
phone
public
call.
attention in 1975 by the Church Committee of the United States Congress and Gerald Ford's
So the
President's
church
Commission
did it.
on CIA activities. Yeah. So investigative reports were hampered by CIA Director Richard Helms' order that all MKUltra files be destroyed in 1973.
What you got to think about though is you got to think about this, right? Sure, they brought that to the public, but think of how many other like conspiracy theory-esque like experiments are going on behind the scenes we just don't know about.
And what's the thing
In
called?
December 2019, declassified documents included a letter
Submit to
to an
the-
unidentified doctor discussing work on 6 dogs made to run, turn, and stop via remote control and brain implants.
Crazy.
That's associated with this somehow.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, this is
Obey the walrus.
Oh,
Alright,
do you
hold
want to
on.
hear about experiments on the Americans involved in that?
Hold on. Do you guys want to? Let's watch this video really quick.
Let's watch this video of
This actually is what a lot of people think of when they think of in movies of what this stuff's like. It's mostly repeating messages.
it's just repeating
And
messages.
it's a lot of it is repeating, and subliminal messages is effective.
Yeah,
very
there are
effective.
other
Where
tricky
they can-
videos like
they'll-
that I can show you.
Yeah, even it's audio. Audio is probably one of the most effective
Auditory?
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't really block it out that well.
Yeah, you can't
You can't
unhear
close
all
your
can't.
eyes. Now, some things they'll just leave playing. It'll be if you're isolated in a room and the only thing you're seeing is a single screen.
Yeah.
But it's all just power of suggestion. When they do all the they're looking at scary, freaky shit. I mean, that's not necessarily all that it is. It can be absolutely.
Yeah.
To desensitize the brain to things like that is absolutely an effective thing. But most of the time, it's just subliminal messages.
It's just
Yeah.
like it's like that. They just flash phrases towards you over and over again.
Obey the walrus.
Obey the walrus.
What if you saw that
Yeah,
on
no,
TV?
that's supposed to be like some kind of cult
No.
shit.
What if you saw that on TV, but the subliminal message was like, go to KFC and buy the Cheetos
Buy the
sandwich.
Cheeto sandwich.
Buy the Cheeto sandwich
Buy-
at KFC.
Okay, so
By Burger King.
so another
You
No,
like
you
the
want it.
Whopper?
So I got some more stuff on MKUltra. Another technique investigated was the intravenous IV administration of barbiturate into one arm and amphetamine into the other. So amphetamine, methamphetamine.
Yeah.
The Barbiturates would be released into the person first. As soon as the person began to fall asleep, the amphetamines were released. The person would begin to babble incoherently, became sometimes
So
possible to
like
ask.
they would
and
just make a person knock out and then give them meth and be like, yup.
Yeah, and so it was sometimes possible to ask questions and get useful answers. So it was used
Really?
to convince people to get
So
information.
it's like so they could like brainwash people into like saying something, but do they know how accurate the answers are?
Well, that's why they say useful answers.
Useful answers.
But so yeah, other experiments involved heroin, morphine, temazepam, under code MK Search. That's actually an island. Mescaline, and there's a bunch of other. They use cannabis, alcohol, sodium pentothal is what people call truth serum.
So what is that? Is it like, does it work actually?
Well, it relaxes the brain, so you don't have the
so you don't
triggers
think
of like,
about,
I
like-
shouldn't talk about this. It's just
Yeah,
like,
so it's just like...
and that's why they say only the strong of mind can defeat, like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you just have to be very conscious.
You have to
of-
be like aware of your...
yeah. But it's really just a relaxant. It's not that effective. They usually pair that up with interrogation or torture tactics, whatever you use it, because usually it's interrogation, not torture.
Yeah.
There is a difference, but
Okay.
yeah. This is all kind of fucking crazy. And the other thing is you have to realize is that the CIA director, the second he started getting looked into by the Congress, by our own government, he started destroying documents.
He just was like, no.
And after beginning to destroy documents, it took a while until they got 20,000 documents released. So of what was destroyed, think about how much we got. Like, they still had 20,000 left after ordering the destroying of something.
Yeah.
And I think what's really most fucked up is not only that they used hospitals and schools.
Oh, they used hospitals and
hospitals,
schools?
prisons, colleges.
Oh, that's
So they used some really fucked up tactics, but they also specifically targeted people who were emotionally unstable.
Oh yeah.
Hence the Unabomber.
He
was, and it's really. Look into the Unabomber. He was one of the most dangerous men in the country, could argue, in that he could build bombs and send them to just about anyone and get away with it. But it was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, the government made its own terrorists in an effort to brainwash people to make drones. Like,
that's
crazy.
Yeah.
You guys ever look at those like weird creepypastas, like the Russian sleep
experiment?
Yeah, that one's so
classic.
weird.
Never seen it.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, let's explain it to Sean. I'll explain the story.
Okay, so Sean, cut this part out. By the way.
No, we can keep it in.
You want to keep it?
No, we can keep it.
Because I think it's an interesting story.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think people will know what we're talking about. Okay.
Exactly.
Cut the part out where we told you to cut the part out.
No, keep all this in.
Oh, okay.
We're professionals.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it
live. Fuck it.
Sean, you could put the thumbnail of the Russian sleep experiment video on.
Oh, I love that thumbnail.
Okay.
But what it is the idea was like, oh, it's Cold War time. They captured like
they captured like 5 Americans. They're like, and they put them in a chamber,
and they were like, all right, if you don't sleep for a month, we'll let you go. Like,
no, it wasn't. If they don't sleep, I'm pretty sure they were like, we're giving you a gas to not.
No,
sleep.
they didn't tell them.
They didn't.
They were like, as long as you don't sleep, we'll let you out.
Yeah.
And the gas was like, they didn't know about the gas. The gas kept them awake.
I never.
Yeah, and then they went fucking batshit crazy. Started
you go
tearing their
3
shit
days.
up.
3 days without sleep, you're considered clinically insane.
Yeah, no, but this isn't real. This is like made up.
Okay.
Probably, I'm pretty sure it's made up. But they like went batshit crazy. They started writhing in pain. They started after like I think
government.
2 weeks in, they started like tearing their own bodies open, tearing themselves apart. They also, and then they turned off the gas. They were like, okay, you can sleep now. And they were like, no, we're gonna stay awake forever now. They were like, we can't go to sleep. Fucking give us the gas, give us more. And they started like attacking scientists and shit that went in trying to like figure out what was up with them. One of them was like, he had to be strapped down and shit. Like it described him in the description. It said he shouldn't have been alive. He shouldn't have been able to like sustain his body. I think like
you would be dead.
He like tore himself apart. He wouldn't be able to like be alive at all. So like and then I think they just slowly all die or like kill themselves.
Both the American and the Russian or USSR governments, they did some pretty massive stuff involving nukes. Fine, I'm fucking scooching it. But they used nuclear. They tested nuclear weapons on their own troops because they didn't know the effects of nukes really. but they would use their own.
Didn't
own
they
soldiers.
you know the play, I don't know what it's called, but I
What?
think they set off like a nuke near it, right? And it was like an island.
Bikini
and,
Atoll.
Yeah,
Bottom.
that, and then they everyone
Bikini
that
Bottom.
No, that's
Bikini,
that's,
that's
that's
what
the
they
thing,
that's
yeah,
what they
so
call it.
That's what the
Bikini-
show's bought.
It's called Bikini Atoll. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's what the show's-
it's like
Awesome.
They asked the creator, they were like, "Hey, were you inspired by the fact that they nuked the ocean?" He's like, "Yeah, this is it."
Yeah, they put a fleet of American ships out with troops, and they nuked. There was a few other examples in There was an example in the
That
United
was
States where they
funny.
had guys. I actually watched the footage for this, because it was it was used as a training film on how to react to nuclear weapons, and they basically just told them, "All right, get into the trench, get down. We're gonna set up a nuke," but it was to build up their confidence, to deal with a nuclear attack, and so they nuked an area nearby, and they had to patrol into the area that had been just hit with a nuclear warhead.
So they
And
were-
the Russians did way worse. The Russians knew about it and they tested on their own guys, and they refuse to admit to this day that there's some stuff. But a bunch of governments did it's mainly the U.S. and the USSR because they were
only the African government is innocent. They've done nothing wrong ever.
I don't know about
ever.
that.
They
There's a
didn't
lot
sell
of genocide.
slaves to people. Never.
There's a
no.
lot
Never-
of
never
genocide.
happened.
that
The
goes
Africans
No.
are innocent. They're just dirt people.
Not funny did happen.
No,
No,
we're
didn't
getting
happen.
demonetized.
Colby, you can't say
I
that.
don't mean like that. I mean
That's
like they live
so
in dirt.
bad. They have committed atrocities. I don't think there's a single nation on this planet that has not committed so much.
What have the
atrocity.
Africans done? Aren't they just like?
They sold themselves out
Genocides,
to other people.
lots
Yeah.
of genocide.
Aren't they like?
Well, it
a
wasn't selling themselves out. It was warring tribes that would sell POWs. That was actually a customary thing to give
Yeah.
slaves. We just showed them. We were like, hey, we really like this system. I'm saying we, like all white people. They showed them. They're like, hey,
No, the Europeans.
yeah, Europeans
Yeah,
showed up,
us.
and our ancestors. I don't even fucking know how to describe. But people, colonialists show up and we're like, hey, we fucking like this system. Give us your people, and then it just became really horrific as more money and trade got
Yeah, and then
involved,
like they
yeah.
definitely commit atrocities though because
Yeah.
I think
Hello, South
I think-
the
I
colonists like gave them guns and then they were like, "Fuck it, we're going to war now." Now they're fighting over like the Congo or some
You
shit.
ever heard
They're
of
like,
the-
"Fuck
you
you,
ever
give me
heard
the
of the-
river."
And you know the do you know who the Apache are? They're
No.
fucking funny as shit.
What are the
They
Apache?
just gave the Indians guns and said, "Fucking kill each
Yeah,
other."
just do something.
Do it.
They sold guns to the Indians, and then that's why you get like
Native
art of Indians with
Americans.
gun, like Indians on horseback with
Native
guns.
Americans.
No, Michael. I mean, no,
American.
Michael.
No, Michael.
You fucking dicks.
Fuck you, Michael.
I do
you,
not
Jimmy.
like this man named Michael.
Native
Definitely named
Americans
Michael.
with guns is great.
They're pretty neat.
And
Yeah.
we were talking about Russia. I think Africa has committed the least atrocities, though.
Russia?
I think Asia.
No,
did.
Africa.
Oh,
Africa
I
has probably committed.
I'm pretty sure it's Asia because they
Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. That's an atrocity.
barely. That's an
Yeah.
atrocity. But some
Nanking?
people debate that they
Nan-
didn't mean to.
Nanking. They absolutely
I said
intentionally.
some people.
Hong
I'm not
Kong-
saying they did it.
Hong
Speaking
Kong-
of conspiracy theories, the Japanese didn't mean to bomb Pearl Harbor.
It was a prank, but it was
It was
social
a prank.
experiment.
It was
No.
a fabrication. It's not real.
What? I'm trying to think of a people that hasn't really committed.
Asia's committing
Any
Hong
crime.
Kong right now.
Yeah,
They're
but that's like
they're
that's
beating
like,
their own citizens.
That's a drop in the
subways.
ocean. You know how many atrocities like
Mao killed millions of people.
shut up.
Mao Zedong killed
No,
millions
shut
of
up.
people.
Shut up.
Tiananmen Square.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
I see we have some Chinese citizens in the room with us this morning.
Fuck you,
happen.
it did happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, and those carts I'm sending over to Hong Kong are definitely humanitarian aid. And
No, not. I
can't
hear
hear
Stupid idiot says what?
Okay.
Oh lord.
No, I don't think there's any country that's really innocent. Because I was about to say Mongolia. Like, Mongolia has
Mongolia has
And I was
the
like, the fucking Huns!
You know, those guys.
What has Greece ever done? There's a good one. Well, I guess they kept slaves way back in the day.
But like
That was
everybody
okay back
did.
then, yeah.
Well, everyone did something
That's
wrong.
like saying it's,
I guess you could say
it's okay
Greece
to
did
kill
okay.
people. Everyone kills people.
No, but like it
It was culturally more accepted then, and the way of slavery was different, but it's still not good.
also like if you won a battle, you were like, good fucking job losing the battle. Your citizens are ours now.
Yeah, I don't know of any countries that
So I
have
think
really
it was
not
fair
committed
because we don't
atrocities.
operate like that anymore. We don't
No,
operate
we're-
like we won the battle.
We're gonna
we are
keep your
slaves.
people.
We won the battle. Give us money. Come on.
Well, I mean, we still kind of take
The
all
Spartans were
money.
slavers, but they were badass.
Are you saying slavery is
My
badass?
history brain having a minor seizure.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were
Okay.
pretty badass.
They were. They're overplayed though. We've talked about how they're overplayed.
Yeah,
before.
no,
Yeah,
they're
we-
they're
yeah.
they're historically depicted wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, there were way more than 300.
wow.
Well, there were 300 Spartans. There were just also
300 Spartans.
There are also
each
7,000 Athenians.
Yeah, there's 300 Spartans with all their associated helpers, which could be up to like 10 guys per. So there's like a few thousand Spartans, a bunch of Athenians, there were Phoenicians, there were Macedonians, I think, too.
You guys.
There were a bunch of people.
There was.
And it was
Lee and I just took like 100 men to like the secret passage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they did when they realized, oh fuck, we're getting encircled. But even so, it's really overplayed like how little Spartans. The reason that the other groups are so inspired, they're like, hey, so they've landed a lot more people than we thought initially. We got to kind of pull out of this, but
Yeah.
can you hold this line for a bit? And like, okay, we'll do it. And the Spartans were kind of like, yeah, we'll do it. And then the other groups were like, you know, we're gonna do it too. And so they sent some people, but there was a few thousand there, even as the Spartans. They don't count their helots. They don't count their slaves as a part of them, or their helpers that were Spartans but training to be warriors.
Did they bring the slaves with them?
Yes, they would carry.
Oh yeah, because
they would carry the
revolted-
shields and the equipment on them at all times. Because the Spartan soldiers were kept in good shape. They barely carried anything on them, but the people who carried all the
Well, no, in
supplies
wartime they
and-
didn't, because they were like, you guys have to be in shape for war. But when it was like, let's just train, they fucking hurt them.
they didn't treat their.
I
slaves
still
very
stand
well.
by the fact that the Spartans are badass and dedicated to their craft.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they weren't even really that focused military more than other cultures around them, but they are remembered for a few pretty good feats in history. But yeah, they were honestly the one reason they're so militarily powerful is their alliances with other city-states in order to try and prevent slave revolts at home. I mean, they were really worried about they were 2/3 of the whole population.
I mean,
was
they
slaves.
trained the women to be like, hey, if these guys are like, kill them.
Yeah, they were one of the few places that allowed the women to have so much political power in all of Greece.
They
Even.
let
Like,
the
for
women
ancient
own
days-
houses.
Yeah, the women were allowed to have actual political power. 'Cause if the men left for war, or if the slaves started to revolt, you needed to have someone who could actually.
Well, if
run
you have
shit.
if
It's
you
very
have
much
all
like
your
World War
men,
II United
if you have
States.
all your able-bodied men going to war and then you lose a war, you're not gonna have a lot of men in general.
That they treasured motherhood a lot.
Yeah,
They had
there's
a
a
high
really good
importance on motherhood
quote
there.
that's like, we make the men.
We make.
Yeah, exactly. It was something like that. Yeah.
Okay, how do you guys feel about boomers? Do you like them? Do you dislike them?
Nice transition.
I was gonna
fucking
do
hate
another
boomers.
conspiracy. I was gonna say, did you see that like 2016 bomber video?
Okay, yeah, but let's talk about boomers.
Yeah,
real
but boomers
quick.
first. Boomers always come first.
Boomers always come first.
Alright, boomers first.
Or
I don't.
at least they'd like to think that.
I don't want to make a generalization, but I mean, as far as a political era, it got fucking weird.
I think the boomers are. I don't want to say terrible people, but I think misinformed people.
Extremely.
Especially coming into the modern age.
I like the boomer comics.
So much-
I like how just
Yeah.
warped their perception of reality are.
yeah.
It's like, Father, I cannot click the book. It's
I
like,
hate
yeah,
my
shut the
wall.
fuck up.
Yeah.
I edit that comic on screen.
What is a
Father.
book? I only know iPad.
Yeah, I think nowadays, historically they've had some weird interactions, and a lot of people give them shit for that. But I mean, nowadays it's really just like the times have changed so much. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, they just,
a
like-
generation is 20 years, but think about what's happened in the last 20 years historically. Like the explosion of the internet since the 1990s, like the ability to carry that much information in your pocket and like things like that. How do you compensate for that in your old age? Like
You
coming
don't.
into a new world.
But
Yeah,
you shouldn't
can't.
attack the people
Are
who
we
don't
gonna-
understand it.
Are we
Fucking
gonna be
read a
like-
book.
Are we gonna be like boomers when we're old, or are we gonna be like, I don't understand?
I
I
think-
sure hope.
I think that's just the nature of growing old and
Yeah,
changing.
is that you want to preserve how your life was. Because you're in a new world. I mean, you really feel alone, I imagine. When you're coming into a world that really you can't excel in. I imagine that's pretty depressing to a certain extent.
Yeah, I guess, but that's like how
It doesn't
people
give
are.
you an excuse
Although
to really...
It doesn't give them an
You can
excuse to
adapt.
be like,
Yeah.
fucking fuck you, kids.
But they
you guys
don't.
can't click
Like, one
They
books."
choose not to.
One thing that annoys the fuck... Like, my parents aren't even boomers. They're not even that old yet. But, like, the second they see me watching YouTube, they assume I'm fucking off. Like, I'm, like, doing bullshit. Like, I've spoken to some of you before. Like, I do push-ups now. I have a fitness regimen that follows, like, how much YouTube I watch. I watch mostly educational content, like
Michael's
history and stuff like that.
Michael's my workout buddy, so
I don't work
I'm
out.
a lifty boy.
Or neither
don't
does
judge me.
Sean.
Don't
Y'all
judge me.
watch like really educational stuff on YouTube, and I'm over here watching fucking
It's like my
Call me
Clint
Carson.
Stevens speed
Here's-
run
Call
any
me-
percent
call me
Mario.
Clint
Carson.
Stevens.
Call me
yeah,
Carson is still good. I want to watch
yeah.
him.
But like, I
Shout
watch a lot
outs
of
to Clint Steven.
Clint
But, like,
Stevens is another person I watch.
whenever my parents see me on YouTube, and I can hear them too. They're like fucking deaf. I have no idea. I can hear them down the hallway and like up the stairs.
My
and they
parents
can't
are
even hear me
deaf
in my room.
too. It's like a
It's
major
ridiculous.
problem.
I can't even if I'm on the other side of a door, my parents can't hear them. Like I can hear every word you're saying down the hallway through this door.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like you get immediately judged. Like people will look at you weird when you're on your phone and stuff
Boomers
like that.
are weird.
And it's like
Yeah.
I'm learning things. I'm doing. It's just
Yeah.
because it's not in a book doesn't mean I can't learn. And sure,
Yeah.
there's some studies that say you don't retain information as well when you're watching YouTube. Probably because a lot of people zone out and are fucking idiots. Like
Yeah.
you can just look at the pretty pictures instead. But if you're really determined to learn what you're looking at, I mean, I don't feel like you should get shit for that.
Yeah.
Boomers are a strange type of person, you know, because they're like, hey, I'm hip, I'm cool, but then I feel like they stop doing that now, so they're like,
Yeah.
I don't understand
You see-
the book.
The other thing we got to realize, a new generation is coming. 2020, it's a new generation.
Yeah.
That's the start of it. But I mean, we already have daily.
Yeah, but
we
it's
already
like
have to deal
it's
with
like
Fortnite
the
kids. Like,
it's like the relation
Fortnite.
between millennials
Generation
and then
Fortnite.
our generation. It's like
and the thing is, you have that weird
Yeah.
generation that was like 2001 to 2005 that are like, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it's us to a certain, but it's like you've
Somewhat.
got a lot of people who are like, I think they said it was like the most conservative born group of people of like the last few generations.
Really?
Yeah, it was like I don't know why I heard something. About that.
I
Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it.
I talked to
I don't have
someone
citations.
and we it was very interesting, and he explained to me how since millennials are so liberal, right? It's
a
gonna
counterculture.
it's gonna be a backswing to it because because that generation saw how kind
That's
of
basically
like
what the 2001
not
2005
truly like not truly bad. They're not bad.
No,
They're
it's
not
a
bad
counterculture.
people.
It's a
It's a
counterculture.
counterculture
Yeah.
because they're like, well, we don't want to be like this. We don't
Yeah.
like this. We don't like
And I
how
think-
they're talking, right? So it's a backswing. Now
I
they're
think-
swinging back towards more being conservative than liberal.
And I think we're seeing a lot of with the new age where there's so much emphasis on people like getting involved in your life like through social media or the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna really see a resurgence in like isolationism, people and countries
That's what it
wanting
seems
to
like.
kind of be to their own.
Yeah.
But in that conservatism to a certain extent, now it's not bad. Now, and some people would be like, "Oh, you know, we need to go back to like 1861 so I can have my slaves back." That's obviously bad.
My
That's
slaves,
bad.
I need them.
But
The
like, hey,
ultimate boomer.
But like, hey, I want to go back like 30, 40 years to when like XYZ was like, what the fuck do you want me to say?
Fucking move
Get
forward.
closer
Oh
to the
fuck!
mic.
I was like, what are you motioning at me for? I'm loud enough. Look at my fucking voice on the thing. I'm
Yeah, he's
fucking
clearly
echoing the
loud
fucking
enough.
walls like a fucking
And
maniac.
he
like,
screeches
fucking
whenever
Christ.
he says a joke. He goes, "Oh!"
Okay. Right.
Anyways.
My opinion on boomers. I don't think my father is a boomer.
I don't think so.
I mean, and the other thing is that you can be a part of a generation and be an outlier, and you can be a part of a generation and still have some characteristics, but not all of them. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So when you're identifying a culture by a generation, especially now, where we're seeing so many microcultures, I think you describe them, where different people are able to get so much voice. I mean, you really can't keep track of that. I mean, I think generations are going to kind of become obsolete soon, or they're going to become shorter.
Yeah, well, I feel like they've been obsolete since the start because they started doing it with like baby boomers.
Yeah.
And
But
it's like okay,
I think it's a small
but why didn't
generation.
you gotta think, right? Like it doesn't matter anymore because the baby boomers they're very like distinct, but now all the generations are kind of like melding together. They're kind of like very similar.
Yeah, they're finding a lot of common differences to a certain extent, but I think we're also just seeing a lot of changes happening in a lot of short time.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot more different people in the same amount of time that you would in 20
Yeah, and the
years.
fact that so many people are being born now, it's like
Yeah, that's birth rate.
they can't like they used to be able to define people like boomers because they had an X amount of people being born then, but now we have like infinite amount of people being born.
I
And
wouldn't say
boomers
infinite,
only
but, yeah.
boomers only I feel like boomers
China.
only
It's all because of China. That's
it's
know,
all
because-
because of China.
Yeah.
But no, I
Come
feel
on,
like
China.
it only applies to like America. There's no like Chinese boomers.
That would be
not
really
That's
funny.
just because of the cultural difference.
Yeah, so
we're not
I feel like
American
Americans do that more than anyone else in the world. It's like
you know what?
generations.
Speaking of cultural difference, everything is so accessible today. I could act like I'm part of a different generation just because I have access to the internet. Like I can listen to fucking AC/DC
Yeah,
just
I like
by
AC/DC.
choosing to.
I
But
like
like,
Skinner too.
back then, the sort of generations are defined also by their pop culture.
Yeah, and you could.
Yeah, now you
there was
can
a
just
time when
look
you
into
couldn't
any pop
rewind.
culture you want.
Yeah.
There was a time you couldn't rewind things and like re-go at it. Like you couldn't, if you didn't have a record player, you couldn't access the songs you liked with it. But now you can access whatever you want online, basically.
Yeah, it's not like,
Infinite
oh, you have
degree.
to have this or you have to have this. It's like, no, I can do it online now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But then the entire, like, I can do it online, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's, like, what's defining our generation now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think there's an appreciation you have to have for things you can do in real life. Some things you can't do online.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate that. But that's one problem that a lot of kids have, and a lot of people our age have, is that they don't appreciate things that aren't online or like in their face in the media, or even
Yeah.
to an extent. Like, I think we could argue that the media is even to an extent things like YouTube, where they
I
have
feel like the
recommended
media is
and
becoming
trending.
obsolete too, though, because like the media really appeals to like think about television. Television is like stuff.
Yeah, you
yeah.
can generate
That's-
so much attention now.
Yeah.
As a single person online, I mean, online journalism is really taking
The
off. and
media
bigger
isn't
companies are
like
struggling.
it's not like, oh, here's the media, here's like CNN, they're the big blank, and then
Yeah.
here's
Used to be
Fox,
3
they're the big blank.
You used to have 3 channels for the news. That's how it was. You had 3 channels you could opt for, as far as news came. But now, and that's not to say newspapers didn't exist and local newspapers and blah blah blah. But you used to be a very small amount of people who you could access for reliable information. But now
It's like you can ask anyone.
We can video document things like never before. So it's not just I need a trusted journalist. Oh, I have a 30-minute video that knows everything.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
is not perfect, but it gives you a better picture than nothing, and to some people is enough.
Yeah.
But and that is dangerous at the same time, where the media can now
Yeah,
be
because it can be
influenced by
very misleading. Like
It
you,
can be.
if you like look
Alex
at, like,
Jones.
Alex Jones, they're putting chemicals. In
frogs!
They're putting chemicals in the water that make the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that?
The black
I-
people!
I,
the black people are destroying the government!
I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
It's
Raising
weird though,
the child.
because like you can just be
what
so
I do, Lord.
misled by like such a small amount. Like if you look into like the pro Jared thing, like,
Oh,
that
yes.
happened recently.
Cancel culture's a big
Yeah,
thing.
no.
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
a big
They
thing.
were like, hey, so listen, pro Jared was talking to minors, and then recently when this video comes out, like maybe a week or 2 ago,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he came back. He was like, no. So guess what, guys? You're all stupid now. It's like I feel like that was sparked by like one person, and then a bunch of other people like caught on to that. They were like, "Yep, I'm joining in too, guys."
Yeah.
Bandwagons, yeah.
Yeah. So that's becoming a new problem.
You don't
But
even...
I do think that cable news as we know it is really suffering.
It's like
I think-
obsolete.
Oh, that's-
I wouldn't say obsolete necessarily. It's struggling to compete to provide the same amount of content and things like that. And
yeah.
it's
If you
it's
look
hard.
if you look at some countries, they do news a lot differently, where they don't like have people talk about the news. They just say the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't get political about it.
That's
or
how
anything.
that's how it used to be once upon a
Yeah,
time.
they were like they don't like get political. They're not like, hey, frick this person or
But
frick
even
that person.
even words you can use can display rhetoric. The way that you phrase things and how you say them.
Yeah, no.
Which makes it
like
very
in other
hard.
countries, they don't get political. They just say the news. It's like, here's the news. Here's what happens. They
Yeah.
don't talk about it. They're just like, this is what happened.
Today a building got bombed. The guy said he was a part of ISIS. The end.
I would have preferred that happening.
Yeah.
Because then I could get a genuine answer of what actually happened.
And to the same degree of how the news is reacting to that, like trying to get the first scoop on things. One thing that it honestly fucking disgusts me is how they treat mass killing incidents,
Uh-huh.
mass shooters.
Yeah,
The last thing I want to see is their fucking face on my TV. It's
exactly.
the last fucking thing I want to see.
I don't want to
Now
see
their
it.
name, their name might be relevant.
Yeah.
Their name might be relevant. I still don't want to know it. 9 out of 10 times I don't want.
I don't want to see their gross ass incel face.
Yeah, it's always some fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And some people
Some
actually
Elliot Rodgers
glorify these
freak
people.
show.
Yeah. Some people actually glorify these people. And it's like,
And
no.
that's what they want. They're
Yeah.
trying to get, like, fucking...
It's
They're
not
trying to
even
get a
like
reaction.
it's not even like they're badasses. Not even like they're cool. This guy walked into a fucking school and shot
Walked into a
children.
goddamn Walmart and shot 3 people.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't deserve to be on the
Walk
fucking
into a
news.
gun shop.
Yeah.
Walk into a gun shop. Walk into a police station. Walk into anywhere where people are capable of defending themselves instead of being a piece of shit. Like, you're ambushing civilians unarmed because, oh, mama called me mean things when I was little.
Mama
Yeah.
say,
Like, the
man.
psychological background that goes into mass shooters and into serial killers, things like that, they're just fucked.
Yeah.
They're just horrible fucking people. Like, honestly, like, and then we've had people, like, at our school that have been like, oh, they declare you for security threats in your background. Some of those are bullshit. I can tell you for a fact some of those are bullshit. But, like, there's people who are likely among us, or you bumped into in your life at some point, whether it was online in real life, that they have those types of fucked up
Did you
thoughts.
know likely in your life you've met, in your entire lifetime, you're likely to meet up to 7 murderers? Not, like, become friends with them, just see them.
Bump into them.
Yeah, and you don't even know it. There's a possibility that you can just walk around and, that guy kills people, that guy kills people. You don't even know.
There's, like, 6 degrees of connections between each person. Basically, like, you can link yourself to just about anyone through 6 other people. And so that 6 degrees connection, that doesn't surprise me. You bump into that, but, like, you've got to think to what magnitude you're in proximity to that type of person. Like, they always say, we never could have imagined little Jimothy would have walked. I mean, he loved killing animals when he was little. Sometimes
he loved dissecting things.
Yeah, but it's never like that. It's always much more mundane. You know, he didn't talk to many people. He got bullied as a kid. He stayed inside all day, and then he eventually got involved in some random club, and next thing we knew, Jimmy's fucking white. He's a white supremacist or something, and he's, abusing his Second Amendment right to infringe on the lives and abilities of others to just go about being normal human beings. I mean, it's fucking horrific.
That's another thing with the internet, actually, where it's like you take these mentally weak people who have been abused, and you're like, hey, do you want to join this group where you'll be accepted and loved?
And you can be a whole new identity.
That's how cults
That's
work.
the thing. You can be a whole new identity online.
Like,
they always want to say, like, how you're anonymous online and, people do horrible things. No, some people just recreate themselves. They want to be a different person. You can live a life you never had.
You can, like, that's why there's appeal to a lot of, like, video games. Like, you know the game Second Life, where you could just be like,
anything you want.
Yeah, you can just be like, I am the Black Knight. Fuck you. That's the appeal. I feel like
it lets you have a different experience. It's called bleeding. They call this bleeding with games, where your emotional state and the games mix. Yeah, there's some great videos out on how to do game design and
I feel like
how to incorporate that.
I feel like all forms of media, to an extent, are a way to, like, not escape, but like
connect to them.
You're supposed to, like, connect to them, and if you want to connect to them in a way that's not you, that's how you choose to do it. You're like, okay, well, I don't want to connect personally. Yeah. I want to connect in a way where I can be this new person. I can live a less, not bad life, but I can live a more fun or exciting life.
Yeah.
And that, I don't think that's bad, per se. I don't think it's, like, bad to project yourself into a new life.
But some people get
get way too into
psychologically, some people, and that's the thing.
And that's not good for you. To psychologically live 2 lives at once, that's really bad for you.
Video games don't create violent people, but it gives somewhere for violent people to explore how they feel about things.
Yeah,
to a certain extent.
Let them explore.
And again, you're probably, at some point, that person is probably going to take anger or rage into some... The other thing is, when you're dealing with people who are kind of...
off the handle.
Not only off the handle, but
mentally
a lot of these
insane.
people are, like, as you said, like, incels. That, like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I haven't left my mom's basement type people.
Yeah.
I mean, they might get really angry at something, and they might be really pissed off, and they really might want to be that angry, evil person that they can be in some video games, but they just can't on a day-to-day basis. And when you suppress that type of an urge, when you're that fucked up and you suppress that for years, or even suppress any abuse, there's going to be an explosion.
Yeah, for some people, that is going to happen, and for some people it can be very violent, or for some people they just, like, crumble.
Some people need to pull a Kyle, put a hole in the wall. Some people get fucking nuts and put a hole in their wife or kid or, like, something fucking crazy. Like,
put a hole in their wife. Yeah.
I just imagine
the one that's not supposed to be there. Like,
okay,
other than just the lungs.
Yeah, no, but I also think there's a huge problem with, like, people on the internet, though. They, like, take these people who are like, so I don't like stuff, and then they're like, yeah, you don't like stuff? Fuck you, dude. Fuck your opinion. Yeah. You're wrong. And it's like, well, you don't have to be like that. You could just have a civil conversation and be like,
But
okay.
they might be used to being told no or what have you, and they might be angry about that just having to shut up or being a nice person because no one's been nice to them, or however you want to phrase it.
There's also
I think I'm in a group like that. I'm in, like, a Discord group. Yeah. And it's like I'm just there and they just post memes, but whenever I bring up what I like, and usually it's JoJo, and they're always like, "Fuck
adventure.
You."
So back to the conversation, fuck you for liking this. Probably met
Makes
one
me
mass
angry.
shooter.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because it kind of goes with that. Like, they just kind of
Sean.
judge me for liking this, which
Sean
is
a
weird.
school shooter changed my mind.
Yeah.
Sean, no. Oh, people usually.
Sean, no, it's just JoJo. No,
You can't
Just
really
faint
kill
gunshot.
people. Michael. Damn it. Michael.
Michael.
His name is
Who
Michael.
is-
Michael.
I don't see anyone in this room named
Michael.
I meant to say Michael.
We're gonna censor all of this and just
Yeah.
be Michael. I've never heard of anyone in this room named Michael.
That's
Who even
exactly.
is Michael?
You know that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I already did
But
it.
Dude, that's
Michael,
great.
people used to think you were that because of your interests.
Yeah, some people did,
Yeah.
and I don't think they really knew me that well. I've had some incidents in my life that have led me to be a little more defensive or aggressive, or however you want to phrase it, and some people might be. And that can throw people off at times, and just my overall hobbies and habits. Some people, they're just scared. I mean, honestly, and it's about diffusing that. And the way that I've really come to that point is I've been more friendly with people, more outgoing. But not everyone can do that. I mean, I don't like being social with people, but I can be a very social person. I've learned to do that over time. But it's not fun when people think you're like that. I mean, people really they
Well, people can be really mean.
they can't.
That's the problem.
But the thing is, they don't even mean it. They just someone legitimately thought I was a monster.
Yeah.
Like someone
Really?
someone I go to school with, someone I see every single day thought I was legitimately like a human monster, and I have no idea how I could have conveyed that. And I might be goofy and I can say some
Yeah.
things that are pretty fucked. I think we all can. But
Oh
like,
yeah.
it really yeah. So you gotta consider, like, you can't just be like, hey, that kid spends a lot of time online and he's pretty angry. I don't know. No, you gotta.
I don't know about him, guys.
Yeah.
Always give people the benefit of the doubt. Always try to reach out and meet people. I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you have to be friends with everyone. It means just don't be a dick.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, that guy's been on his phone a lot. I bet he's trying to commit a mass genocide or something
It
stupid
doesn't
like
even,
that.
It doesn't even have to be that you have to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
But like, and so everyone's like, oh, go talk to the nerdy kid in class. No, just be
Just
friendly
go
to
talk.
normal people. Like,
Yeah.
Don't label somebody as like, oh, he's a school shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by,
Just
I should
don't.
be honest, Michael. I saw a picture of you back in 8th grade. You had your hair shaved, and I was like, yeah, he looks like the type. And then I met you in person through sports and stuff, and I was like, wow, you are actually extremely friendly.
Yeah, it's like I'm not an asshole. You fucked
You
up
idiot.
the recording.
An hour gone to waste
hour
because
and
you wanted
7
to
minutes
juggle
of record.
the holy cylinder.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing.
me.
Perception is reality for a lot of people. That's the thing. People are gonna look at you and they're gonna assume things about you, and that's really that.
Yeah.
It only goes to hurt. It never really has ever had a benefit, I think, for anyone in my life. I mean, spare someone holding a bloody knife and staring at you like they're gonna
Yeah.
fucking drink your blood, like. But I mean, yeah, you can't really assume things and just go off that. But it's easy to do that. And the first few seconds of meeting someone are usually what can convey your first opinions and your final opinions of people. And so, like, you really can't judge people.
You can't judge a book by their cover.
Not
Yeah.
even a book by their cover. Like, you have to realize that people they have exposition, they have narrative. There's a plot line to what they're doing in life, like, to a certain extent. You can't just even read the first few pages and think, oh, no, I totally get this.
Yeah.
You've got to, like, actually try and meet that person. Because someone could also be friendly. You could
not?
equally have seen someone who looked perfectly friendly, but, like, they like to put their dick in their neighbor's dog or something like. Like
Yeah, I know
there's
a kid
fucked
like
up people
that.
like that among you all the time. Like pedophiles. Like someone's dad down the block is a pedophile. Someone's brother, uncle, son is a pedophile, and they never knew it. And they don't necessarily have to be like some weirdo. So you got to give the benefit of the doubt, but also be like.
Be cautious.
Yeah. Don't be ignorant, but be willing to give people a chance. Give being a good person a chance.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on. We're
guess.
we're over an hour now.
Yeah.
So
Poor Sean the editor.
Poor me for like not having the right mental capacity to talk about like conspiracy theories, creepypastas, Sasquatch or
I want
whatever.
to talk about creepypastas
Yeah.
on the next one.
I
Can
just
we
wanna
talk
goof
about
around.
creepypastas
Oh, yeah.
and also
So-
make
I
it
can
so
kind of
dark?
talk about that.
next
I'm gonna
episode
serve it like
of
that.
Will's Not Home, we'll do some creepypastas. I want to
be
thank
funny.
you all for listening. Will,
I'll get my balls back.
next session we'll be back. We'll be
Balls
back to
are back
mediocrity
in
at its
town.
finest.
Balls
We
are
just
back
thought
in
this would be funny.
town.
It wasn't funny. It was actually really serious. But
Yeah.
we
got funny at times.
hope
Oh,
you all
yeah.
enjoyed. I love you all, and I will see you in the next
Colby!
episode.
Oh, you want to?